Hello and welcome to our next episode of our show Zungumza. Today we shall be delving into matters politics, university politics. And to help me get into these issues, I have my beloved and very good friends here who also happen to be involved in campus politics. So welcome ladies and gentlemen. Mko namna gani? Mko sawa sawa kabisa. So this is Nelson Mandela, a third-year student taking a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Sociology. And we have our madam here.
Stella Loronyokwe, taking Bachelor of Science, Wildlife Management.
Yes.
And currently Director Environment, Health and Catering in the University Politics.
Of which university?
Egerton.
And finally?
We have Denny Mutunga, a fifth-year student, taking a course better known to me, a political strategist, and an actor.
So, university politics. I want us to start off with the University Electoral Amendments Act. What is this act? What does it mean to university politics?
You are talking about Amendment Act 2016.
Yes.
Well, Amendment Act 2016 really shifted the organization of how politics is done generally. Lately, it was based on popular vote and, the universal suffrage. But Amendment Act that was presented to Parliament by Eden Wale, the leader of majority, required that we have an electoral college voting system. Yeah.
So the electoral college voting system, as I understand it, is it like the one that we see in the USA, whereby only a few people get to choose the leaders who decide issues for the rest of the people, or how does it work?
It's where 3 representatives are chosen from each department, faculty or school. These representatives are the ones going to help us vote for the chairman, the vice chair, and the vice chair should be of the opposite gender, the chairman.
As compared to the chairman?
To the chairman, yeah.
Nice.
And the treasurer, in most cases known as the director of finance, and the secretary general, and any other 3 posts.
So in total there are 4 posts?
Not in total 4 posts, but there are 7.
There are 7.
Yes.
Sorry, there are 7 posts. So, Denny Mutunga,
Yes.
what do you think about this voting system? Is it of any benefit to students? Do you think it's retrogressive? How do you perceive it?
In my perception, I think we are progressing. In this scenario whereby you're able to, in the university, the student body now will be divided into something we call the electoral colleges. Those electoral colleges now are the ones that are going to be choosing at least 3 representatives. Those 3 representatives chooses the leaders, the student union leaders. I think by doing that, what we have done is that it is like we have changed our way of expression. We have shown that at least we can bestow some trust to these representatives. I think it is a good progression, even to the moral standings of the society that we are living in today.
Okay, so if 3 representatives are elected from one faculty, and then they're supposed to go help choose the leaders, Nelson Mandela, don't you think that the entire student body will feel like they're not part of the system? They're not part of the organization that is choosing the leaders?
Yes, Kanja, I think you got it right. Contrary to what Mutunga is talking about, the electoral law, I think it looks very retrogressive, not very consistent with our constitution. Because look, in my own view, Aden Dwale was very subjective in a way that he was only interested in curbing the term of Paul Ongili, Babo Wino of UN.
Oh, Paul Ongili.
So it was not generally objective in dealing with the issues like tribalism as it is perceived. Because, tribalism is something that is entrenched in our society. It is not something that is only existing in the campus system. Talking about the 2/3 gender rule that they are recommending, you should do that first in parliament before you come introducing it in campus.
Okay, so that is Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela thinks that the bill that was tabled by Majority Leader Aden Duale was to curb people like Babu Owino from power and remove them from power. Are you of the same thought, Stella?
Actually, I beg to differ with Mutunga here. this whole thing is, I don't see it as a progression. It is actually going to take us back to the corrupt Kenya we are in. So the leaders will have a chance of bribing. Okay, you only have 3 representatives.
From each
So
faculty.
yeah, so how hard is it to bribe 3 people in each faculty? It is going to be very easy. Okay, I would prefer the vote of popularity. It is better off because each comrade will feel that their vote counts and will feel like they're in the student association. Yeah.
I beg to explain my point further.
Yes, respond.
And see, my friends have taken a diversion from my point of argument. What it means is that when you choose those 3 representatives, you're choosing them from the electoral colleges. That means that even those communities, because now the voting system in Kenya nowadays has changed, and people do not vote ideas, they do not vote concepts, they no longer vote that, they vote tribes, isn't it? And they vote as per the majority that are there. But now, if you come to these electoral colleges whereby you are choosing representatives, a department might decide that those representatives that are chosen, they have to reflect inclusivity of each and every person that is represented in that department, isn't it? Meaning that even those people who feel that they are the minority have to be represented among the 3 representatives to be sent to go and choose the student union leaders, isn't it?
Okay.
After doing that, how do you tell me now that those people are not included, those who feel neglected in this scenario, because that is what they feel, and those who feel that they are neglected from the leadership?
I can see Mandela trying to ask me for permission to respond.
I think that is intellectual dishonesty, my friend Mutunga. You know, there's never been a problem with inclusivity in campus politics. What you're talking about is national politics. That does not really reflect the campus politics. In pursuant to the Constitution, established laws, Article 38, 81 to 86. Universal suffrage is something that is sacrosanct. It is something that is provided in the Constitution that we must vote to elect our leaders. I mean, we are not up in a parliamentary system of voting where we need some people to representative to elect our leaders. We are in a presidential system where universal suffrage is something that has been fought for over the years. So we must vote. We must go line and vote. That is a constitutional.
I beg to differ with you, Mr. Mandela.
Okay,
Kidogo.
I'll come back to you, Denny Mutunga.
Okay.
I can see we are not very equal when it comes to time. We also need Stella to speak.
Okay, and again, don't you think this whole system is time consuming? Like, we have to vote in the 3 representatives. Like, we have to choose the 3 representatives. Why don't we take that time and choose the leaders themselves instead of choosing the 3 representatives and then again choosing leaders after choosing the 3 representatives?
Now, Mandela, before you say that the campus politics do not reflect the national politics, I beg to tell you that, did you know that Stella, if I'm not wrong, she is the 2nd or the 3rd student union leader in Egerton University for a very long time because she is a Samburu? Did you know that?
It is very unfortunate. That was
the reason is because, do you know why the reason is? It is because the unions that are formed, the tsunamis that are formed, the coalitions that are formed in campus politics, they are formed based on the tribes. And the Samburu do not have that majority to form that coalition, to be included in a coalition. And that's why she remained neglected. And you find that there are not many Turkana, Samburu, elected leaders in campus. So the national politics clearly reflect the campus politics.
So you say that there is a very big correlation between the national politics and the campus politics.
Exactly.
So in your view, Nelson Mandela, how does campus politics affect or shape the direction of our national politics?
Yes, campus, it is honest that campus politics will shape the national politics. Most of the leaders we have around come from the university level. We have people like Babo Wino, who is right now MP Embakasi. We've had intellectuals like PLO Lumumba, who is a leader of his own space. We've had Hassan Omar, the former senator of Mombasa. He was the former chair of Eldoret University. So generally, like, it has impact on national politics.
So from Eldoret University to becoming a
A
senator.
senator.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we can name a number of them. Fazul Mohammed, even though his credentials are subject to discussion,
To scrutiny.
but he was here fighting for the rights of comrades.
Where was he?
In Egerton University, fighting for the rights of comrades. I mean, a number of them. Kipchumba Murkomen. We can name a long list of the impacts of campus politics into national politics.
So Stella, are you also of the same idea that campus politics are shaped in the manner that national politics are shaped? Like the way we have Jubilee, which is highly a commemoration of a few communities, and NASA, which is a commemoration of another few communities. Is that the same thing that happens to campus politics?
Actually, this is very evident in every campus. We have coalitions based on tribal lines. Like we have a coalition that maybe comprises of people like the Akamba, the Luo, the Luya, the former coalition, and then the rest form the other coalition. You know, we translate all these to national politics, and that is why we will never get a good leader, like a leader who everyone will be happy with. Like, because everything in Kenya happens according to tribes. Like, okay, someone like me, okay, I'm a Samburu, we are marginal, I'm from a marginalized community. So when I go to, let's say, Nairobi, and then I vie for a certain post, like, there was a girl who was vying for a post in Nairobi, and she was a Samburu.
Susan.
Yeah, she did not get the votes. Why? Because she's from a marginalized community. Okay, that is one of the reasons she did not get the votes. So, if we just like neglect tribal lines a little, and then we choose leaders according to what they will do, like leaders who have interest, the people's interest at heart, then we will move forward.
So this university's Electoral Amendment Act,
Yes.
do you think it's going to curb this challenge whereby instead of having the entire population of a certain community voting in their leader, and we change and we have only 3 representatives from each school or from each faculty choosing a leader, do you think it's going to take away the entire tribal politics that we have in campuses, Dennis?
Yes, exactly. Because again, in that Amendment Act, it says that student union that is elected, those student union leaders that are elected, they have to reflect an image of inclusivity. It has to ensure that all people who are in that department, they have to be represented. So I believe by having those representatives to go and elect student leaders for the rest of the comrades, that bestowing of trust, that moment that it has to reflect that inclusivity, it will eliminate the stories that we hear of tribalism. Again, it also helps to eliminate the candidates using so much resources in campaigning. We shall not see these campaign trails each and every now and then. We shall not, it is again in those campaign trails that we see violence.
Sure.
We will not be able to witness violence related to campaigns in campuses.
Okay, so Nelson, do you think that this electoral college, should it succeed in campuses, do you think it should be implemented even at a national level?
No, in fact, that is the worst bill that I've seen a parliament pass in my entire lifetime. I think, it's always said that context without text is pretext. The intention of coming up with this bill, what was it? It was ill-intentioned. It was about Babo Wino. It has nothing. In fact, there is no content in that bill other than it has several contents regarding the admission. But in terms of election, that is the worst bill that has ever been presented to Parliament.
It's the worst bill that has ever been presented. Stella, do you agree?
I agree. I totally agree. It is the worst bill that has ever been presented. Plus, it has this rule that once you've vied, and then you've won, the first term, the second term, and then you are disqualified from vying in any other institution. So, for instance, I'm in Egerton, I have vied, and then again, I vie for the second time. I go for another degree in another university. Then I am disqualified to vie because I was a student leader for 2 terms in a certain institution. Like, don't you see that that is killing dreams. That is killing dreams of future leaders.
But again, even in national politics, Denny, we find that even a governor is supposed to go for only 2
For
terms.
only 2 terms.
So
Yes.
don't you think it's correlative?
Yes, I think what these people are trying to do, what the bill is trying to do, is trying to train you to be already a mature politician. And then, don't you think that being a student leader for like from 2010 up to now, we are in 2017, University of Nairobi have been having the same student leader. Don't you think that is too much monopoly, and don't you smell mischief in that?
Which monopoly are you talking about, my friend? There is no monopoly in leadership. I think we should interrogate the content of the
Okay, not monopoly in leadership, system monopoly.
Now let's look at this. Babu Wino, and this is what we are talking about, because I believe this bill was about Babu Wino. Babu Wino was elected through universal suffrage. People went and voted. Is that what you call monopoly? Then I don't know the definition.
No. You cannot
please,
be able.
No, give me time.
You cannot tell me.
We shall no, Denny. We shall be moving away from that issue, and we shall be discussing. This bill, it has not been accepted and implemented in a lot of universities. We find that only Kirinyaga University, and maybe a
Se1.
few others. When you go to Egerton University, they are preparing for the elections coming week.
Yes,
When you go to other universities, they are also doing. Well, why has it not been welcomed by comrades?
Yes, I think I should explain that. Let me explain and try to educate my friend Mutunga. At least he can have some understanding of the laws. This ill-motived, I call it draconian law, draconian bill, 2016. It was petitioned actually in Milimani High Court. So his implementation is still subject to constitutional requirements. It has not taken the space that it needs to require because it's very draconian. I don't think the Constitution of Kenya or the High Courts will allow that bill to be applied in Kenya anywhere. So I don't think it should take effect. In fact, any university that is going to buy this kind of trend, very retrogressive.
But other universities have already started these systems. Stella, what do you think about Kirinyaga University, of whom they have already introduced the system? They have already started voting on electoral colleges. They have no student representatives that are elected by the majority. Do you think it's still retrogressive?
It is a matter of time. Let's wait and see where Kirinyaga University will be in the next few years.
It's not only Kirinyaga University.
Yes.
we
Okay,
have
and
others.
the rest.
Yes, we have SECO. You know, Gabriela, what we should be concerned with right now is, number one, what kind of problems do we face? We as students, or we as the administration of the universities, what problems do we face during these elections, with the way we conduct our elections, with the outcomes we get out of these elections? What problems do we have? And number one problem that we usually have is tribalism. Number two problem that we usually have is violence that is campaign related, isn't it? Number three problem that we usually have is bribery, voter bribery. Another problem that we usually have is election malpractices, rigging at the very high levels. For example, you find that in campuses whereby we are still using ballot papers and we have no KMS kits, like in the national elections, the ballots are stuffed. The ballot boxes come stuffed. You find that even before you go to the election the following day, a ballot box for a certain person has got already 500 votes for that person.
Wow.
What happens now? Now, after scrutinizing all those problems that we usually have during those elections, whereas we are having this presidential system, as my friend Mandela is calling it, does the electoral college system solve that? And I tell you, the answer is clear. The answer is it solves. And if it solves such problems, then let us practice it, solve the problems at hand, and then as the problems come, the problems that will come with the electoral colleges, then we shall see.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for keeping it tuned at Koelib TV. This is our show Zungumza. For Dennis Mutunga, the Electoral Amendment Act is going to finish tribalism and the problems of campus politics. For Stella Fardosa and Nelson Mandela, it's a big no. So keep it tuned at Koelib TV. We shall be here next time, where the discussion will even get more smokier. I'm Gabriel Kanja. I'm very happy to have been your host. Let's meet next time. Barikiwa.